Welcome to the Tech Show. I'm Sonia Gavankar. Today we've got a full lineup of new computers from Acer. We celebrate Valentine's Day by guarding against the newest romance scams, and we ride a new Take My Money into the sunset. All that and more coming up on the Tech Show. Now it's time for the latest. LEGO's recent unveiling of the interactive brick has divided fans, with some criticizing that the use of technology in the traditional toys and its potential impact on creativity. Dubbed the LEGO Smart Play, the system uses a custom-made chip to provide a smart brick that responds with sounds and lights to the way a LEGO user plays with certain LEGO blocks. The head of LEGO's Creative Play Lab, Tom Donaldson, described the system as a way to make building worlds and stories even more engaging without the need for a screen. We truly believe we are setting a new standard for interactive imaginative experiences and can't wait to see the innovations in the hands of kids when we launch this year, he said in a statement. While the LEGO Group enthusiastically called the development one of its most significant evolutions since the LEGO minifigures were introduced in 1978, not every LEGO fan is convinced. Need to learn more? But boy, do I wish anything would just stay analog. Not everything needs to be connected, reads one of the reactions in the announcement on Instagram. We don't need lights and sounds. That's what our imagination is for, another commenter wrote. However, Tom de Bricker, the head of the Belgian LEGO enthusiast group, BLUG, says creativity is a common characteristic of LEGO users, and it's likely they will find their own way to use the smart brick. That is actually something typical of our community's free imagination, he told the Brussels Times. The possibilities for movement, interaction with our smart bricks, color, and lights are immense, so I'm already looking forward to it. In the market for a hydrogen-powered vehicle, you may want to think twice before considering the Toyota Mirai. A lawsuit filed against Toyota by owners of the vehicle states it is a nightmare to own, as there isn't enough reliable infrastructure to keep the car fueled, among other issues. While that suit is ongoing, some drivers say they've faced even more hurdles put in their path by the company, with many owners paying hundreds of dollars per month for a car they say can't drive. Toyota told them to hold off on making payments until the suit has been resolved. However, despite what seems to be a gesture of goodwill, Toyota has been accused by multiple Mirai owners of not only continuing to demand payment, but also sending those who stopped payment to collections, despite written assurances they would not do so, said attorney Jason Ingber, who represents many of the plaintiffs. He said, "This was a big relief, and then with the uncertainty of it, some now have gone back to some people threw their arms in the air because they already got negative credit reports. This is a fiasco within a fiasco that's really cruel, in my opinion," he said. Toyota did not respond to multiple requests for comments and additional information, but multiple Mirai owners told KTLA News that they'd been impacted financially and personally by what they describe as a broken promise by Toyota. Some drivers said they'd cleared up the issue by contacting Toyota representatives, of which had somehow missed notes on their accounts indicating that bill payment was being paused and they were not to be sent to collections. Others, however, still saw their credit scores impacted after Toyota reported them to the credit bureaus for failing to make payments. What a shame. We'll be back in 30 seconds.
Rise up this morning, smile with the rising sun. Three little birds, pitch by my doorstep, singing sweet songs of melodies pure and true, saying, "This is my message to you."
Chef Jamie Gwynn is bringing her playbook with expert tips for hosting the ultimate game day celebration, from crowd-pleasing recipes and smart time-saving hacks to creative touches that add big flavor and fun. Jamie shows us how to throw a winning party without the stress. Hello, Chef.
Chef Jamie Gwen here. The big game is all about snacking, but you can keep your healthy eating routine by adding California cheese, cottage cheese, and yogurt. They're filling and rich in the natural high-quality protein we get from dairy. In fact, I used California cottage cheese in my high-protein dip with veggies. Real California dairy products come in a variety of styles, even lactose-free. So look for the Real California Milk seal, because it means supporting local farmers who are dedicated to sustainability. Visit realcaliforniamilk.com/recipes for fresh recipe ideas. Now, from chicken pot pie to mac and cheese, I like to serve the classics for the big game. And I love this classic 100-year-old Japanese company. Tiger Corporation makes it easy to make perfectly cooked rice and oatmeal at the touch of a button. This is the new Tiger multi-cooker with 8 different menu settings for traditional rice cooking to slow cook, sous vide, and saute. Plus, it has 21 additional recipes pre-programmed for a variety of dishes. The pre-programmed buttons automatically adjust the cooking time and heat settings for each dish. And as a chef, I'm always looking for ingredients that make my work easier. One of my best chef's tips is to balance savory with a little bit of sweet. And I made these chicken wings with Welch's Concord grape jelly and barbecue sauce for an easy win. Welch's is made with real U.S. grown Concord grapes and supports hundreds of American family farmers. 100% of Welch's profits go back to their grower owners. It's that unmistakably bold, sweet, straight off the vine goodness, and it's a natural fit for big game spreads, bringing that feel-good flavor together when you're cheering on your favorite team. For more information and recipes, go to dailylounge.com. Back to you.
Thank you, Chef. Enjoy the game. We'll be back with more of the Tech Show in just a minute. Stay tuned.
Here's Chris Cunahan with the Leaf Filter Gutter Report.
From blizzards and downpours to windstorms or heat waves, no matter where you live, Leaf Filter keeps your gutters clog-free year-round. Schedule your free inspection today. Call 833-LEAF-FILTER or visit leaffilter.com.
Happy Valentine's Day. The FBI's Internet Crime Complaint Center continues to receive tens of thousands of romance or confidence fraud complaints each year. In the most recent data from 2024, IC3 received 859,532 total complaints of suspected internet crime, with reported losses exceeding $16 billion. Those figures only reflect reported incidents, meaning the true impact is likely significantly higher. Luckily, we have Marnie Gibson, president of the North American Securities Administration Association, here to point out red flags and help us protect ourselves and others. Hello, Marnie.
So first of all, thank you for having me. This is certainly a timely topic, and we are starting to see a significant amount of these romance scams that are really increasing because of some of what you mentioned. If we're talking about artificial intelligence, we're talking about some of the new techniques that scammers are using to really loop in individuals into what we call romance scams.
Who is the most vulnerable to these scams?
So typically, I would say anyone. So anyone is vulnerable to a scam. And you're probably asking, why is that? Because fraudsters use any method that they can to really loop in consumers into these scams. So if you have a phone, if you have an email address, then a scammer has a way to reach you. So we have noticed that our older investors continue to be especially targeted, mainly because they have the savings, they have retirement accounts, and they have home equities that scammers do try to exploit. Social media is really now the #1 way that individuals are being contacted. So what I can really say is, if you have a phone or if you have an email address, you're susceptible to these.
Is it always about money?
You know, on its face, it doesn't seem to be about money, but the reality is it is about money. So the scammer will really talk to the victim and convince them that they have a romance, that they have some sort of budding relationship. But what's really happening is the scammer is trying to get them comfortable so that they can go after their money or get them to invest in some product that they have. So money is typically the root of these investment scams.
What are some red flags, and how can we share them with people we think might be victims of romance scams?
You know, it's unfortunate, and I feel like almost all of us have a friend, have a relative that is encountering this romance scam in some way, shape, or form. In fact, stats show that over 12 billion people $12 billion were taken through romance scams in 2024. So I understand. And the goal is to try to prevent that. And I'll give you one word: knowledge. Knowledge is power. And the more that we can share information, then that is the way to prevent these scams. So let's talk a little bit about the red flags that you asked about. So specifically, it's that desire to move move as quickly as possible, or to keep something secret. So if someone is telling you, don't tell anyone about this, or let's hurry up and get into this investment, that is a huge red flag. A second red flag that I want to mention is no risk. If someone tells you that there is no risk for the huge reward, it's a scam. All investments have risk of some sort. And also, maybe in part of this romance scam, one of the things that we notice more than anything is constant excuses. For example, you want to meet your new romantic partner, but the romantic partner is too busy. They travel all the time. So that gauntlet of excuses is usually a red flag. So if someone's not willing to meet with you, but you're in a relationship, that's a key red flag to think about.
Can you share some of the consequences of these scams?
So, you know, we see a lot of these complaints and we see a lot of these stories, and the consequences are usually a complete loss of funds. So scammers are now using, as I mentioned, artificial intelligence. They're using digital assets. There are so many ways that they are trying to get to victims, especially our seniors. And we have seen some cases in my state of Kentucky where, you know, a particular victim had lost around $700,000. And if you think about that kind of money that has been lost and has been transferred and taken, then it's one of the heartbreaking things that we would love to be able to stop. So the more knowledge that we can share, then the more we can prevent this from happening.
And what can we do to protect ourselves?
So I think the biggest thing I would say is to always be cautious. The most important thing is to think about the new partner that you have. Think about what's happening through your social media accounts, and just make sure that you know the person that you're talking to. And I would just generally say, you know, as Valentine's Day approaches, and as we're thinking about love and relationships, when it comes to romance, make sure that Cupid is aiming at your heart and not at your wallet.
Where can we learn more about these scams?
So I mentioned state securities regulators, and, you know, Kentucky, my state, every single state securities regulator has a contact that you can use. So every state in the country, if you live in Kentucky, for example, you can reach out to my office. If you live in any other state, you can reach out to their office. So the easiest way to do that is to go to nasa.org. That's NASAA, the extra A on there, NASAA.org, and look up your state. And there is a tab at the top that allows you to see every state. Click on that. You'll get contact information, email addresses, phone numbers, and every state securities regulator is more than happy to help you. If nothing else, if you just have a question, if you're concerned, if you're maybe you're thinking, you know, is this a red flag? Should I be cautious? We're happy to have a conversation with you, happy to talk to you, happy to do anything we can to make sure and give you that knowledge that we talked about earlier.
Thanks for joining us, Marnie.
Thank you so much for having me.
As U.S. cities prepare for FIFA World Cup 26, local small businesses are bracing for a major surge in customers and the pressure and opportunities that come with it. Joining us is Denise Press, North American Head of Small Businesses for Visa Commercial Solutions, to break down what this moment means for local businesses and how they can prepare, whether they're gearing up for a major event or focused on everyday growth. Welcome, Denise.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
What are local businesses bracing for as the World Cup approaches?
Well, this is really, truly a big moment. And these big moments like the World Cup bring a ton of energy, a ton of excitement, but also a lot of anticipated pressure for small businesses. They're expecting a surge in foot traffic, a surge in customers, and really an incredible opportunity. But running a business, a small business, can be challenging on the best day. So in anticipation of the World Cup, we have stood up Visa in Maine. Visa in Maine is built and designed for every day to support small businesses and to help them address their three key challenges. And those challenges that we hear from businesses day in and day out.
How can local small businesses actually connect with new customers as the World Cup approaches?
The kind of tools that they'll want to have in place are the tools that will help them address what will be a fast, high-paced, high-demand environment. They'll want to have reliable digital tools, tools that will help them with strong security and fraud protection, real-time tracking and inventory, anything that they can have to help them run their business smoothly. Please visit us at visa.com/Visa and Maine.
Thanks, Denise. More of the Tech Show is coming up right after this.
Home inspectors, general contractors, roofers. All kinds of pros recommend Leaf Filter. Why? It's engineered for performance. Because with Leaf Filter's patented filter technology, there's no gaps, no openings, no place for debris to get in at all. Leaf Filter is a permanent solution we install on your existing gutters. You'll never have to climb a ladder to clean out your gutters again. Call us today to get started.
Schedule your free inspection today. Call 833-LEAF-FILTER or visit leaffilter.com.
Welcome back to the Tech Show. YouTuber Jared Gross Jr. brings us the craziest robots from CES 2026. Which one do you want in your home?
Can you talk to me about some of the limitations, because I found them particularly impressive in terms of how much this thing can lift, what conditions it can work in, because we're already at some really impressive stats.
Yeah, so Atlas can lift up to 110 pounds instantaneously and closer to 70 kind of continuously. So we designed this to handle the dull, dirty, dangerous tasks, the things that are really backbreaking for people to do. It can operate for 4 hours on its battery life, swap its own battery so it can work continuously. Atlas can operate in the rain. It's IP67. It can also handle -20C to 40C. Atlas has these joints that can spin all the way around. And so we're inspired by the human form, but not limited by it.
How do you see these units coexisting with human beings in the future?
So we're not trying to make a robot person. We're trying to make this tool that's relatable, that's understandable, and you know, the choice of the head kind of like whimsical and inviting. It's actually a modular head with the sensors and computer on board. So we've learned from the autonomous vehicle industry about how you can really reliably detect people and hazards around the robot, and the robot has that built in.
So behind me is a company that's gone totally viral because of its robot's crazy fighting moves. Let's check out Engine AI.
This year we bought the two models. One is a PM, and this guy is 1.38 meter tall, with 24 degrees of freedom, and the total weight is 40 kilo. So this guy can do very flexible movement. This show is the money keep rolling. Oh, okay.
Americans eat an estimated 350 slices of pizza every second, and award-winning chef and Guinness World Record holder Tony Gemignani is sharing his secrets for making authentic Italian-style pizza at home. Hello, chef.
How you doing?
Can you tell us more about the pizzas you're showcasing for us today?
Yeah, so we have 3 pizzas that are on board Alfredo's on our Princess cruise liners. And the one to the right has a soppressata picante. It's imported from Italy. It's on a bed of flour, on a bread of dough that's actually made with Caputo flour, 00 flour that's imported from Napoli. Shea Parmigiano Reggiano, it has arugula and a house-made hot honey. The one in the middle here is a pizza that won on the Food Network. Won the gold medal. It has prosciutto di Parma, so imported from Parma, Italy, Shea Parmigiano Reggiano, a balsamic glaze that's imported. So as I start saying these pizzas, you're going to hear from Italy, made in Italy, imported from Italy. Yes, we recently got a certification, the Ospitalità Italiana certification. That means that a group from Italy said, hey, this pizza is authentic, it's Italian made, and that's really what's important to us. And this pizza won on the Food Network a while ago, and I said, okay, let me go ahead and showcase this one. I think it's going to be everyone's favorite, and it has been. So you have a veggie pizza here. If you're a vegetarian, mushrooms, onions, goat cheese, imported Castelvetrano olives, a little bit of lemon to make it pop. These are 3 pizzas that are most popular. They're showcased on Princess, and we're very proud of it. 3 years they said, how do we elevate the pizza program? And here we are today, and Princess is the only one to have that certification.
What are your top tips for making authentic Italian pizza at home?
So authentic Italian pizza at home, go to your grocery store, look for imported ingredients, look for a flour that you can cook in your home oven. But, you're saying, okay, I'm cooking at 500 degrees. What can I do? Add a little bit of sugar to that recipe, some low diastatic malt, maybe some honey. Allow that to caramelize and brown, but look for putting ingredients on after the bake. I said prosciutto di Parma, I said arugula, I said shaved Parmigiano, and this could be serrano peppers, banana peppers. It can go on, but look for putting ingredients on after the bake. And people think that all the ingredients need to go on in a home oven before the bake. It's really what goes on after the bake that makes it less soggy, makes it crunchy, makes it crispy. So that helps a lot.
How do you choose the right ingredients and techniques to get that classic pizzeria flavor?
Well, mozzarella is important. It's a foundation to some of our, almost every pizza, but a low moisture mozzarella, maybe high in fat. Look for not so much a part skim, because the higher fat, the better it bakes in your oven. So sometimes you'll see cheese pizzas come out that are just scabby and brown and don't look good. Well, look for a low moisture mozzarella, that'll help. Look for imported ingredients, Italian ingredients, I think, that are the best. And if you're using vegetables, if you're using something like tomatoes, are a fruit. They can go on after the bake. You can use sliced cherry tomatoes and put it on as a finishing ingredient. So remember, not all the ingredients need to go on before the bake. What beautifies, we eat with our eyes, and really what's important, what goes on after the bake.
Where can we go for more information?
Princess.com. Visit princess.com. It'll have all the voyages that go to the Caribbean, that go to Alaska, that go to Europe, and you can really see what we're showcasing, and that's an elevated dining experience with high quality ingredients on Princess.
Thanks, Chef.
Thank you.
Now it's time for Take My Money. This time, we have a scooter that could scoot you around the city without risking our lives.
Meet the X-Ride, your seamless all-day mobility companion. Sleek, stable, and built to fit every part of your life. Folded in seconds, no tools, no fuss. It slides right into your car trunk, ready for wherever you go next. Straddle, ride, and feel free. Double tap to shift gears. Smooth, intuitive, no extra steps. Cruise up to 15 mph. Tight spot? Reverse gear has you covered. Turn signals for clear, safe rides. Add a cargo trailer, groceries, camping gear, whatever you need.
There's no way this really beautifully executed and lightweight looking thing is going to keep me upright when I needed to. However, when I go to Universal Studios, can I bring this also? Because I feel like if I have to stand in a 3-hour line, this is the way to do it, sitting with ease. Just an idea. So X-Ride, go ahead, take my money. Willing to try it. Thanks for joining us this week. Follow us at The Tech Show TV and join the conversation. Tech you later.